are the prophets that give so many of us spiritual clarity actually divine, or are they just people who had some good ideas? This is a fun thing to think about, and obviously a bit of a controversial thing to talk about, because some of these things, the obvious contradiction is that some of these religions claim to be the only way. You know, I think it was Jesus who said that I am the only way to the Father. So are these prophetic figures that change the course of history, Shiva, Jesus, Moses, Lao Tzu, Ramana Maharshi, and probably tons more that I don't even know about, were these people just realized beings, spiritual? Did they just come to sort of... I think that there is spiritual concepts that are sort of just true. Like consciousness, for example. Consciousness, the spaciousness of consciousness is just a fundamental truth of reality. So people that are going through different shamanic techniques, different yogic techniques, spiritual techniques to enter altered states of consciousness, these people are probably touching the same place. So they're going to come back and say, this was my experience, and, you know, given the capacity that humans have, we probably have a limited filter to espouse upon this experience to other people. So that's why a lot of these religions are kind of saying the same thing, is because ultimately spirituality is spirituality, and all of these prophets seem to be like fingers pointing at the moon. You know, don't get lost at the finger. Pay attention to the moon, which is spirituality. You know, obviously, if you are a religious person, you're going to say that, no, Muhammad is divine. He is a divine messenger of God. Or no, Jesus really was the Son of God. I mean, obviously, if that's the sort of way that you view the world, that I'm speaking from people that are sort of liberated from these religious dogmas or you know, attached to these ideas. Because like, I'm not a Christian, I'm not a Muslim or any of this kind of stuff. So for me, it all kind of seems like a mountain in a way. You know, like, for example, people at the bottom of the mountain are probably like, yeah, you know, there's some great trees here, there's some lots of plants, and this is what God is. There's a beautiful river that runs through this nature right here. Then you have people in the you know, middle of the mountain that maybe are living around a rocky climate, and there's goats, and the people at the bottom have never seen goats. And these people are like, no, this is God. And then you have people at the top who are living in freezing climates that are like, oh, no, this is God. God is this harsh freezingness. But from the outside, actually all of this is God. Everything is God. So I really dance back and forth with this idea that some of these people are actually divine, and that they did actually come specifically with the intention to raise the consciousness of humanity in a way that needed it. And it's hard to say, like, for example, when Jesus says, I am the only way, you know, maybe it's hard to know if he actually said that, and it's hard to know, like, in which context. Like, maybe he's saying, like, no, don't listen to those guys. I'm the only way in the context of this situation. Follow me. I'm the only way to the freedom, to liberation. Yeah, I go back and forth. I can see, like, for example, the Hindus have this idea that God comes every certain amount of time to bump the world up to the next level. So, like, for example, it's actually interesting. It's the Hindu mythology has God coming in different forms, and if you align it with evolution, it takes the same sort of forms as, like, the evolutionary chain took to get to where we're at. And the interesting thing about this is because it's symbolic for our growth, that God is coming in these different moments to help us grow. And he takes the forms of, like, people like Jesus or the Buddha or Krishna or, you know, all these people that were catalysts in raising the awareness of the collective consciousness of the self. I had a conversation with Duncan Trussell once, and Duncan Trussell explained it in the sort of way of faucets. Now you have all these different faucets, maybe they're running through the ground. You have this whole system, and I have my faucet here, you have your faucet in the apartment a couple down, but it's don't get lost in the faucet. It's the water that's coming through. I think in a way, we are all the prophets to the people in our life, and the people in our lives are prophets to us. Even the people that we don't agree with, or the people that are assholes to us, these people are prophets, or they are messiahs rather, in the way that they are reflections to where you need to wake up. I mean, ultimately, the whole world is probably just meant for your awakening. But yeah, I don't know. Was Jesus the actual Son of God, or are we all the Son of God? Was it symbolic? And if Jesus was real, was he just sort of a guy that awokened to this realization, and he said it, and he just happens to be the one that got remembered out of the thousands of people that have recognized this? To me, I feel like there's no accidents in the universe. When I really check in with myself, like, okay, looking into my intuition, into my astral self, and I can say that I probably think that there are no accidents in the universe, and that everything that happens is meant to happen, and it's all divine action. So these spiritual people, I actually think they are prophets. I don't believe they're prophets in the probably the way that the people believe it, that believe in the religion. Like, I don't think Jesus is the only way. I don't think Muhammad is the only way, or that any of these religions are the only way. I think, again, it's the journey up the mountaintop, and the people that are taking the break are confused with we confuse the spirituality at the top of the mountaintop with being liberation or enlightenment. But Alan Watts once said, the only Zen you're going to find at the top of a mountaintop is the Zen you brought with you. So I think what I'm trying to say is that all these religions are give us the sense that there is liberation waiting somewhere for us at the final destination of whatever religious mythology that you are into. But really, it's the whole journey along the way. Like I said, the people in your life are the messiahs. It's the guy on the street that makes you feel judgmental. It makes you say things, and it reveals a character flaw in which you need to water and enlighten and shine some light on and help illuminate into a release of these negative aspects of ourselves that we allow to dictate our way that we perceive reality. We go through life so much having judgments and having bad ideas that were just sort of given to us. They're just insecurities. They're not even really who we are. And you can transcend these through mindfulness and paying attention to your thoughts. So maybe everyone is a prophet. Maybe everyone is the Messiah. But these people, like Jesus, seem to have had such an effect. I mean, it's been thousands of years, and it's still echoing out, and it's still being used as a symbol to help people awaken to their own potential. And I guess, I'm using prophet kind of in the wrong way. If you think of what a prophet is, it means to be prophesized. But, it's all going to happen. Truth is going to be revealed. So no matter how you prophesize it, eventually it's going to take that form, because truth can be found in anything. So, I don't know. Yeah, I think everything is meant to happen. It's all God's plan, and it's happening the way it's supposed to happen. And all these figures are speaking to people in a specific place. These people are in this place and they need this symbol to get them out of this place. It's the liberation, you know? My friend JR used to give me this great little analogy. He's like, you know, you take the boat across the water, but once you get to land, you don't carry the boat with you, you know? It's like once you realize the spiritual clarity that is within yourself, that is beyond identity, beyond any sort of language, and beyond symbols, and it has nothing to do with anything material, because all this is temporary. So it's like once you cross the river of suffering and illusion of temporariness as being eternal, and you reach the eternal, you no longer need the boat. You don't need to carry the boat, because here you are on the other side, and the other side is clear. There's nothing there that it's all perfect there. So I think these religious figures are speaking to people along the way as they're on the boat. And like Hindus, for example, they in Bhakti Yoga, it's all about using an object to merge into it. So it's like you use this illusion of separation to realize oneness. Through you being you, I realize who I am. Even though in this interaction we are sharing. It's shared. This is one moment. But your self reflects to me myself. Maybe I agree with you and I say, yeah, I agree with you. Or maybe I don't agree with you and I say, I don't agree with you. So you give me a sense of clarity within myself and all the people in our lives. So this was sort of a rambling, a little ramble. I don't really know if we got anywhere, but it's an interesting topic. So what do you think? Is everything divine? Are these messiahs throughout human history actually messiahs, or do they just sort of get the luck of the draw of being the symbol that got carried on through history? You know, some people luck out, and you know, it seems like when we find out who people really were, they never are as saintly as we hoped. But who knows? You know, maybe these people exist. Maybe these figures actually do exist, and they are sent here by God for a reason. I mean, who knows? And it doesn't have to just be those two options. It could be something else. So let me know what you think. My name is Dakota. This is my YouTube channel. Click subscribe. Turn the notification on if you want to see more videos like this. The little bell, the little notification bell. And I got an Instagram and Twitter @DakotaWin. All the links will be in the description below. Let's be homies. Catch you next video.